Hey runner friends, Wrinkled Runner here. Today I'm going to be talking about the gear that I use to keep myself warm now that it's getting colder outside and winter is upon us. I need to keep warm. My husband and I usually go out for runs about 5:45 a.m. actually, so that he can get it in before he has to go to work. So because it's dark and because it's cold, it's really important that we have the right gear for those early morning, very chilly runs. So stay tuned and see what I use. So the first thing that we use that I think is really important is a lighted running vest, and you have the capability on this one to change it to different things. This is the one we usually use. It flashes. I feel like that early in the morning, a lot of times drivers are going to work and the commuting and stuff, and they're sleepy, and based on a lot of close calls that we've had, a lot of people on their way to work just aren't real with it, I guess. So we have found that using a running vest, a lighted running vest while we run early in the mornings, really helps to keep the attention of drivers as we're crossing roads and doing things like that. We always do it safely, but you'd be really surprised at what you see sometimes that early in the morning that drivers do. So when the sun comes up, if the sun is coming up while we're still running, it's really easy to just go back and turn it off. The other thing we use are these Balaga socks, and we have found that that is the best brand for us. I've tried other ones before. I'm very susceptible to blisters, and these really help keep those blisters at bay. And these, I like the longer ones for winter running. A lot of times here in Buffalo, when we're running across the street, we'll step into something that looks like it's ice or snow, and it's actually like a 3-inch puddle of just icy water. And so this helps keep a barrier between my legs and those icy puddles that I find I fall in a lot of that time throughout the winter. And these are wool, and they just really keep you warm. From early on, we've always been told by our mothers that a hat is one of the best things you can wear to keep everything warm and keep your body warm. And so I usually go for wearing a full hat, especially when it's super cold outside. I don't like to wear my hair in a lot of ponytails. I will wear it in a ponytail or a bun sometimes, but I don't like to do that a lot because my hair tends to break back here, or then I get this funky bump that won't go out even when I wash my hair. And actually, if you have some thinning hair problems, or if you've gotten some problems because of having some runner's hair, I'll link up to a video down below where I actually talk about some of the hair products that I use and some of the strategies that I use to try to keep my hair from getting too broken and too dull. What I do is I take my hair and I tuck it up and then stick my hat on top of that. And that helps to not have to wear ponytails all the time. Now, if it's not really super cold outside and I just want a covering for my ear, even at around 50 degrees, I find that I am better off having something covering my ear. So I just use one of these ear bands and just put it over my ears. And in that case, a lot of times I will wear a ponytail. So layering is a big thing for me in winter. I know I have a tendency to want to feel more warm, except during a hot flash, but I have these Manzella gloves that I love that I use if it's pretty cold outside, and it has like this kind of like a wind guard kind of thing that can go over and make it look like mittens. Now underneath these, if it's super cold, like if it's in the teens, say, I'll wear a base layer glove, and it's actually a thinner glove that will go on underneath this, but I actually left it in my son's truck when I visited him in Oregon a few weeks ago. So I'll have to get those base layer gloves back, but I won't be able to show you them for a while yet. The other thing that I like to use in the wintertime is a neck gaiter or neck warmer. This is more of a polar fleece kind of a thing, and you just pull it over your head, and then this kind of bunches out down below around your neck. Sometimes if I'm wearing a zip up like this and then a jacket, this area will still tend to get cold, and so I can pull this up, and I can even pull it up over my nose and mouth if it's super windy out there, and it just helps to keep my face warm. Believe it or not, I use handkerchiefs quite frequently in the winter, and I'm always regretting when I go out for a run and I forget to put this in my pocket. My nose tends to run once the weather starts turning colder in the fall, and I bring this along, and it really helps to be able to blow my nose without like the tissue floating away or disintegrating or just not having anything. And so this helps a lot with that in the winter time. And in the summertime, a lot of times I take it with me as well, and it helps with sweat. And so I actually keep a handkerchief with me pretty much as I remember to take it with me. Just like with my hands, base layer I feel is really important for my upper body as well. My legs don't get as cold, so I usually only wear one layer on my legs. But for my top, a lot of times I will wear like a mock turtleneck like this, and that will help to keep my neck warm as well. And I like the Under Armour mock turtlenecks to wear as a base layer. I do have some like Carrie Tra thermal shirts to go underneath, but I usually don't wear that unless, again, the weather is like really, really cold or really snowy, like in the teens and even lower sometimes. So this Under Armour infrared jacket I just got last month, and the couple of times I've worn it, I have found that it actually keeps me very, very warm. I don't actually need to wear as many layers when I'm wearing this jacket, and so I've actually not worn it on some of, like if it's in the 30s or something like that, I'll go back to the jacket that I had for last winter, because this actually is very, very warm. So come January, when it's snowy and icy outside, I know that I'll be able to pull this out and I'll be able to stay really, really warm. So those are some of the things that I'm going to be using this winter for my winter running, and I think it's really important to be comfortable when you run. A lot of times, especially for new runners or people who don't have anything to train for, which a lot of us don't at this juncture, it's hard to get up and get out there for a run when it's really cold out if you're uncomfortable. Just like if you don't have the right shoes, or if you didn't take water with you and you're really, really thirsty. Comfort is a really big factor in the motivation for us to get up and get out there for a run. So I really encourage you to look for things that are going to keep you comfortable and invest in those purchases, because it's going to help you in the long run to get out there and be more consistent with your running. If you have any running questions in general, or want to talk about or ask any questions about gear for winter running, you can comment down below. You can also email me at sherry@wrinkledrunner.com. I read all my emails and I answer them. It gives me good ideas for different things that I want to find out more information on, and to know what you guys are looking for as far as running questions. Once you're over at wrinkledrunner.com, go ahead and sign up for the newsletter over there. Once a month, I send a newsletter on the first Saturday, and it just gives you all the links and different things that I've been doing over on the blog or here on the YouTube channel. Any information also that I've been looking at or researching and things like that, I include in that newsletter for you to have a good resource on all things running. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the run.